The story of the bell, which is one of the most terrifying and well-documented paranormal events in American history. A tale of haunting, death, and the supernatural, the bell which curse has plagued the Bell family of Adams, Tennessee, for generations. For over 200 years, people have been terrified by the dark forces said to haunt the Bell family farm, a curse that began with strange, eerie sounds and led to violent, unexplained occurrences. But what exactly happened at that farm? Was it simply a case of mass hysteria, or was there something far darker at play? This is the story of the bell, which, a cursed force of terror, that still haunts the town of Adams today. The story of the bell, which begins in 1817, when John Bell, a farmer, and his family moved to a property in Robertson County, Tennessee, near the Red River. The Bell family consisted of John, his wife Lucy, and their children, including their daughter Betsy. Little did they know that their seemingly peaceful life would soon be interrupted by a terrifying, inexplicable presence. It started small, with strange sounds echoing throughout the house. At first, the Bell family attributed these noises to a mere rodent infestation. But soon, the disturbances escalated. The family began hearing knocking sounds on walls, doors opening and closing on their own, and chains dragging across the floors. Then came the unnerving voices, whispering, unintelligible murmurs in the dead of night. The sounds were so intense and so loud that the family could no longer ignore them. But it wasn't just noises. Strange, violent events began to occur. One night, John Bell and his children were sitting around the fire when they felt something invisible tugging at their hair and clothing. The family's youngest daughter, Betsy, began experiencing the most disturbing of phenomena. She claimed that invisible hands would pinch, slap, and strike her without warning. The attacks were severe and painful, leaving her terrified and bruised. Soon, word of the haunting spread throughout the community, and the Bell family became the talk of Adams. Visitors came to the farm, hoping to witness the strange occurrences for themselves. Some came out of curiosity, while others hoped to help the Bell family, but no one could explain what was happening. As the disturbances continued, the Bell family began to suspect that something far more sinister was behind the hauntings. At first, the invisible presence seemed to be harmless, but soon the attacks grew more violent and aggressive. The family could hear the voice of a woman, a voice that called itself Kate. The voice claimed to be the spirit of a woman who had been wronged by John Bell. But who was Kate? And what did she want? The haunting continued to escalate, with the entity known as Kate growing more brazen. Kate seemed to take a special interest in Betsy Bell, taunting her and even physically attacking her in ways that were too violent to ignore. Betsy was slapped, pinched, and dragged across the room by an unseen force. Other members of the family were also targeted, with John Bell himself suffering from strange physical ailments and debilitating weakness. Kate's wrath seemed to grow with each passing day. As rumors spread, the Bell Witch legend began to take shape. It was believed that Kate was the spirit of a woman named Kate Batts, a neighbor of the Bell family. According to local legend, Kate Batts had a long-standing feud with John Bell, and some believe that she had cursed him, causing the strange and terrifying events that plagued the family. Though no one could prove the connection, the theory persisted for years. By 1818, the haunting had gained widespread attention, and the Bell family had become the subject of both fear and fascination. Experts, spiritualists, and curious onlookers from all over the country flocked to Adams to investigate the mysterious happenings. No one could explain why the Bell family was being tormented or what the entity wanted. But one thing was certain: the Bell Witch was no longer a simple haunting. It had become a curse, and it seemed to have set its sights on John Bell. The Bell Witch was not content with merely haunting the family. She had a far darker fate in mind. In 1820, John Bell, who had been suffering from debilitating symptoms for some time, succumbed to his mysterious illness. He died in his home under strange and unexplained circumstances. Some believe that the Bell Witch was directly responsible for his death, poisoning him over the course of months with a mysterious substance that caused his health to deteriorate rapidly. Before his death, John Bell reportedly confessed to his family that he believed the entity in his house had poisoned him, causing his slow decline. He passed away shortly after, leaving behind a family devastated by both grief and terror. His death was seen as the witch's victory. The Bell Witch had taken the life of the man she had tormented for years. After John Bell's death, the strange occurrences seemed to lessen, and the Bell family finally found some peace. But the curse of the Bell Witch didn't end with his passing. It's said that the entity's voice could still be heard, especially during the night, and that it would continue to haunt the Bell family for some time after John Bell's death. The story of the Bell, which became a local legend in Tennessee, passed down through generations. As years went by, the Bell, which became one of the most famous paranormal cases in American history. But what happened to the Bell family after the events of 1820? Betsy Bell, the young girl who had suffered the most from the entity's torment, eventually married and moved away from the area. She would later testify about the haunting and the terrifying experiences she had endured. However, she never fully recovered from the trauma. The Bell family farm remained in the Bell family for years, but it was never quite the same. Over time, the Bell Witch legend became ingrained in American folklore, with many people believing that the curse had a far-reaching impact on the Bell family and the community of Adams. Some even believe that the Bell Witch continues to haunt the land to this day. Despite the passing of time, the Bell Witch still looms large in the history of paranormal investigations. The site of the Bell family home is now a tourist attraction, drawing visitors from around the world who want to experience the eerie energy of Oak Island and learn more about the haunting history that defined this small Tennessee town. Today, the legend of the Bell Witch is far from over. The Bell Witch has left its mark not only on the Bell family, but on the entire town of Adams, Tennessee. The land where the Bell family farm once stood has been the subject of numerous investigations, and some believe that the Bell Witch continues to haunt the area. There have been reports of strange noises, moving objects, and unexplained happenings near the site of the Bell family farm. Paranormal enthusiasts, investigators, and curious visitors still flock to Adams, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Bell Witch, or perhaps even feel her chilling presence. One of the most famous modern-day accounts comes from an investigator who claims to have experienced a series of disturbing encounters on the property, including strange whispers, inexplicable movements, and the sensation of being watched. Others have reported that the Bell Witch's spirit continues to haunt the area, her eerie presence felt in the night air. The Bell Witch story has transcended generations, remaining a cornerstone of paranormal lore. But does the Bell Witch still haunt Adams today, or has the legend been blown out of proportion over time? While some dismiss the tale as fiction, others are convinced that the Bell Witch's curse is very much alive. The story of the Bell Witch is one of the most enduring and terrifying paranormal legends in American history. From its beginnings in 1817 to its ongoing influence today, the Bell Witch continues to captivate and terrify. Is the Bell Witch merely a tale of folklore, or is there something truly dark and supernatural at play? The Bell family's tragic story and the unsettling events that unfolded on their farm have left an indelible mark on history. For those who believe, the Bell Witch is far more than just a ghost story. She is a curse, a force of nature that will not be forgotten. As the years pass, the haunting history of the Bell Witch lives on, a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that are true. But whether or not the Bell Witch still lurks in the shadows of Adams, Tennessee, is a mystery that may never be solved.
January 26, 1966, started like any other summer day at Glenelg Beach in South Australia. For three young siblings, 9-year-old Jane, 7-year-old Arna, and 4-year-old Grant, this was just another trip to the beach. What was supposed to be a fun day out would, however, become one of Australia's most haunting unsolved mysteries. The children set off from their family home that morning, excited to spend the day swimming and playing on the sand. Their mother, Nancy Beaumont, gave them a small amount of pocket money for snacks and told them to stay safe. But that afternoon, when they failed to return home, Nancy's concern grew. She called the beach to inquire about them, and that's when she was told something shocking. Jane, Arna, and Grant were last seen around 11 a.m., speaking with an unknown man. By noon, Nancy realized something was wrong. She called the police, and an extensive search was launched. Thousands of volunteers scoured the beach and surrounding areas, but there was no sign of the children. As the hours passed, the initial hope of them being lost or simply hiding evaporated. The investigation quickly shifted focus, and the authorities began to fear that the children had been abducted. While police scrambled to find clues, the case caught the public's attention, and rumors began to circulate. Witnesses reported seeing the children with a man at various points during the morning. Some described the man as being well-dressed, others claimed he seemed friendly and engaging. But no one could definitively identify him, and no one could say where the children had gone after that. The case seemed to get colder with each passing day. Jane, the oldest of the three, was often described as a responsible, mature girl for her age. Arna, though younger, was just as curious and adventurous, and little Grant, the youngest, was often seen playing with his sisters. They were not the type of children to wander off or disappear without telling anyone. So why, after speaking to this mysterious man, did they vanish from the beach? As the case unfolded, several theories emerged, but despite decades of investigation, none of them have been confirmed. Let's look at the leading theories surrounding the Beaumont children's disappearance. Theory 1, abduction by a stranger. This is the most widely accepted theory. The Beaumont children may have been abducted by someone they encountered on the beach that day. Some witnesses claimed the children were speaking to a man, but no one was able to identify him. The police speculated that the man might have lured them away from the beach under false pretenses. The fact that they were last seen with a stranger raises suspicion that they may have been taken against their will. Various suspects have been named over the years, but none have been definitively linked to the crime. Some believe the man seen with the children may have been a local predator who knew the area well, while others wonder if he was a stranger who simply happened to target them that day. Theory 2, a local predator. Some investigators have suggested that the man who spoke to the children was someone familiar with the beach and the area around it. This theory posits that he may have known exactly how to approach the children and where to take them to avoid detection. With no sign of the children in the water and no physical evidence found anywhere in the area, this theory raises many troubling questions. Theory 3, they were taken to a nearby location. Some have speculated that the children may have been taken to a nearby location, perhaps somewhere close to the beach that was not immediately searched. If this were the case, it would suggest that the abductor had knowledge of the local area and knew how to avoid detection from the search parties. Theory 4, a tragic accident or mistaken identity. Although this theory seems less likely, some believe that the children may have become lost or confused, and tragically wandered off somewhere, perhaps into the water or an isolated part of the area. However, the lack of evidence, such as footprints, clothing, or personal items, has made this theory difficult to support. As the years have passed, the case of the Beaumont children has haunted Australia. In the decades since their disappearance, the search for answers has never stopped. Public appeals, interviews, and new technology have all been used in an attempt to solve the case, but to no avail. Despite the ongoing search, the Beaumont children's fate remains one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in Australian history. Their disappearance, so sudden and inexplicable, continues to captivate the nation and beyond. Was it a tragic accident, or did someone maliciously take their lives? Join the conversation in the comments below. What do you think happened to the Beaumont children? Were they abducted, or is there another explanation? Let us know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.